Welcome to Milap Online Tutorial. Now before us is this maths question under the topic coordinate geometry, and it reads that two perpendiculars PQ and QR intersect at 1 and -1. Now if the equation of PQ is x minus 2y plus 4 equals 0, now find the equation of QR. This is actually a very simple question. However, if you're new to my channel or probably my page on Facebook, please ensure you subscribe if you're on YouTube, and ensure you like and share on Facebook. Please don't forget to click on the notification button on the YouTube channel to ensure that you get notified of every of my video in physics and mathematics. Alright, let's get started. Now in this question, now we are actually given the coordinates and the equation of line PQ. Alright, let me just give a pictorial illustration of the coordinates and the equation. However, this is just an arbitrary drawing. Now since here for the coordinate, this is x and this is y, this implies that our 1 is actually on the x-axis and -1 is actually what, on the y-axis. So since it is negative, so we'll be having it at the negative y-axis. So if we assume that this is our Cartesian coordinate, this is your y and this is your x, this is positive, this is the positive x, and this is the negative y, and this is the negative x. Now since this is for positive x, so let's assume here that you have your, this will now probably be the coordinates. Okay, alright, so let us assume here that we just assume that this line this way, okay, then this line this way, since they are perpendicular. Okay, alright, so this is the negative and this is the x, so this is 1 and -1, so here you have 1 and -1. Okay, so at this point PQ, so you can say this is P, then our Q here, then here is our what? Oh, let's just say this is our R. Okay, and now when we are told that the equation that gives birth to this line is x, let's say this is x minus 2y now plus 4 equals what? 0. And since these two lines are perpendicular, definitely implies that they will be at right angle triangle. Okay, now for these two lines to intercept at this point, it implies that their gradients m1, let's assume this is m1 here, the line here has a gradient of m1 and the line here has a gradient of what? m2. So it implies that the product of this gradient should give us what? Negative what? 1. And however, we are told to find the equation of QR. Okay, so to this stand, or at this point, first of all, what we need to do is to find the gradient for this equation. Okay, to find the gradient of this equation. Now how do we do that? Now let us also recall that normally equation of a line is meant to be y equals what? Mx plus what? C. And this is just a situation whereby the line intercept at what? Positive what? Y. Okay, alright, let me just give it a hint here. So it implies that this line drawn is just what? Y equals what? Mx plus what? C. Okay, and why it is plus C? Because it actually intercepts at the positive y axis. Okay, now the first thing first is, let us transform x minus 2y plus 4 equals 0 into this equation. So let us transform it. So it implies that we need to make y the subject of relation in this equation so that it will align in this pattern. Okay, now what we just need to do here, since we have negative 2y here. Let's just take it over to the right hand side, and as we do that, we have positive 2y. Okay, then we are actually left with, let me just write it here, we are left with x plus 4 then equals 2y. Okay, if you are to arrange it, here you have what, 2y equals x plus what, 4. Okay, actually it's not yet in this pattern, okay, but almost. So what we just need to do here is to divide both sides of the equation by 2, leaving behind y. So we end up having, this will eliminate this, that's the 2. We end up having that y equals x all over 2 plus 2, because 2 here 1, 2 here 4. Now you can see it now aligns with the equation of a straight line, mx plus what, c. Now this implies that 2, the intercept is what, c, and here we can actually write this as saying, let me write this 1 over 2 then x. Okay, so it implies that the gradient m1 for this equals half. So m1 equals 1 all over what, 2. Now recall that these two lines are perpendicular to each other. Now to this time, if they are really perpendicular, then m1 m2 must be equal to what, -1. And to that time we will need to find the gradient of the second line to help us generate the equation for what, QR. So let us now use this equation here. That will be m1 m2 equals what, -1. And the essence why we're using this equation is to find the gradient of the second line QR. So let us plug in the value of m1, which is what, 1 all over 2, then m2 equals what, -1, right? So if we tend to cross multiply here, or we multiply 2 by both sides, so we get to have that this will eliminate this. So our m2 now equals what, -2, right? Now this is not the last result. The last result is to find the equation of what, QR. Now we now have the gradient for this line, and take note, the coordinate that connects both m1 and m2 is 1 and -1, which implies that we can also still make use of this coordinate for the equation of what, m2. Okay, so and we know that when we have one coordinate and a gradient, we get to have that m equals y minus y1 all over x minus x1. Now this is the equation we need to find the, this is the equation we need to find the equation of QR. Okay, since we have one gradient, one gradient and one coordinate. So m2 here, which we actually were looking at, it becomes -2 equals y minus our y1 here. Think that this is x and this is what, y. So it's what, -1 then all over x minus 1. So resolving this, we just have y plus 1 all over x minus 1. Okay, so this time we have what, -2 equals y plus 1 all over x minus 1. Then we can now cross multiply. By cross multiplying, we have -2 in bracket x minus 1 then equals what, y plus 1. Now opening the bracket here, we have -2x then plus 1, because minus times minus will give us plus, 2 times 1 will give us 2, then equals what, y plus 1. Okay, so to this stand here now, we can bring 1 all over to this side. Okay, so we have minus 2x then plus 2 minus 1 equals what? Y. So finally, our y, rewriting it, equals minus 2x plus 1. Final answer. So here is the equation of QR, okay, that is perpendicular to the line PQ. Alright, thank you and God bless you.